But who is the power broker really? In the comics, the power broker is a mysterious figure who generally prefers to go unrecognized, but who holds great power. That being said, we still know who they are in the comics, or at least we have known who they were before. And after all, you can only remain completely mysterious for so long, especially when you wield as much influence as someone like the power broker. Join me as we find out more about this seemingly mysterious character from the comics, who they are, and what they want as we count down the top 10 power broker facts that you need to know. Alright, let's get into it. Number 10, Power Broker Inc. Power Broker Inc. was a corporation created by the power broker Curtis Jackson and staffed by various mad scientists, including Dr. Carl Malice. This was a place where people could come to try and get some superpowers. However, the procedure to augment subjects with powers was extremely risky and also generally involved using highly addictive substances to keep the customers returning, while making them think that the substances they were given were necessary in order to maintain their power levels. The risks were kept secret, and Power Broker Inc. was really all about getting people addicted to substances so that the power broker could maintain control over them, keep extorting them for money, and other favors. Number 9, Super Soldier Serum. According to the official handbook of the Marvel Universe out of the 90s, the original power broker and the one from the MCU actually share a common goal: to recreate the Super Soldier Serum. It is said that this is why Power Broker created Power Broker Inc. in part, although I'm sure the other reason is to make mad money, because that is definitely an element of the business for sure. And experimenting on people to give them powers, Power Broker hoped to finally recreate the Super Soldier Serum and likely, once rediscovered, use it to make even more money. Stacks on stacks on stacks. Alright friends, if you're enjoying this list and there are more characters that have been maybe alluded to in a certain MCU series that you would like to hear more about, please let us know in the comments below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, let us know down there what kinds of characters you want to learn more about. Number 8, Dr. Carl Malice. Dr. Carl Malice was Curtis Jackson's sort of partner who was known for his obsession with superhuman powers. He had attempted to get funding to study superpowered beings and their abilities after the appearance of the Fantastic Four. Unable to do so under legal means, because no one wanted to fund him, after graduating from the University of California, he decided to turn to the criminal underworld of LA and found himself set up in a lab which he dubbed the Institute for Supernormality Research. The test subjects he was given were usually seen as victims and were often people who were indebted to the criminals who funded his operation. Malice would later end up being recruited by Power Broker Inc. and would eventually be forced to become Superior Carnage as part of the supervillain team, the Frightful Four. Number 7, The Deal. If you want powers from the power broker, what do you have to give? Well, in most cases, money is what he's interested in. Giving you powers is something that the modern power broker, at least, sees as a kind of investment. His usual split is 70-30, meaning that you would owe him 70% of what you make from your superpowers forever onward. Power broker doesn't usually care if you're a hero or a villain, only that you're profitable. If you're not profitable, however, he's liable to sell your contract. That is what happened to Roger Brokerage, who became a client after attempting to hunt down Power Broker and get revenge for his brother Paul, who had also been a client and who got brutally beaten up sort of as a result of that exchange. However, Roger ended up being convinced to make a deal with the power broker himself. Roger would become a hero known as Hardball, and when Power Broker no longer saw any profit in him because of his choices, he sold his contract to Hydra. Number 6, Clientele. Some of those who get their powers from the original Power Broker and Power Broker Inc. are more well known on the superpowered wrestling circuit, belonging to the Unlimited Class Wrestling Foundation. It's like wrestling for superpowered people. But Power Broker Inc. has also had dealings with Sharon Ventura, a superpowered being who has both been hero, villain, and she's also been a potential wrestler before. She is commonly known as one of the people to take up the moniker Miss Marvel, or she might be known better to you as She-Thing. Power Broker was also responsible for giving Jonathan Walker, aka US Agent, his powers, though in not such a roundabout way as what we saw happen in the MCU series Falcon and the Winter Soldier. In the comics, Walker's pal and version of Bucky, Lamar Hoskins, also got powers from Power Broker. Number 5, Original Power Broker. The original Power Broker was Curtis Jackson. Curtis Jackson first appeared in Machine Man issue 7 in 1978 and would have his death implied in Greg Rucka's Punisher run in issue 13 in 2012. I would say pretty heavily implied. Curtis Jackson was the version responsible for creating Power Broker Inc. Prior to that, he was known for being the head of the West Coast division of the criminal organization known simply as the Corporation, known for conducting nationwide criminal business. Think of it like a major corporation, but evil. I'm sure in 2021, it's not that hard to picture. I'm not gonna name any names. I think you know. I think we're connecting. You know what I'm thinking about. Despite the fact that the Power Broker has taken a larger role as a villain in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, in the comics, even the original version of the character played a smaller role, having appeared in less than 50 issues total, with most of his appearances being in Captain America. He's best known as a Captain America villain, although he's also a Hulk villain. He's been in quite a few issues of the Hulk as well. Number 4, Final Form. Dun dun dun. Before his apparent death in 2012, Curtis Jackson would spend some time being jacked up after he himself tried to get superpowers. The Scourge of the Underworld was after him, and he decided the best course of action was to protect himself by becoming superpowered. He underwent the augmentation process himself, but instead became deformed, as so often happens, and found himself unable to move with his new immense muscle-bound form. It would later be established that he actually required a mechanical suit or a mechanical exoskeleton in order to move around. Number 3, return to normal. Curtis's final form wouldn't be so final though. He would eventually find a way to reverse the process, hence why we see the Punisher impersonating him in the same issue he appears to have been killed. Frank, you'll notice, does not have to don a mech suit to convince anyone, but simply opts for a pair of aviator sunglasses and stealing an ID chip from Jackson's body. Jackson as the Power Broker not only fixed his deformity, but also ended up returning to his life of crime, just as the Kree attempted to colonize Earth. Power Broker then attempted to team up with alien prisoners and even gained alien powers from linking up with a non-Clintar-based alien symbiote. In the end, of course, his plans were foiled, but it was fun while it lasted, I'm sure. Number 2, Hench App. In modern day, Power Broker Inc. had their own app for a time known as the Hench App, which helped you to connect to the very best possible hench for you and your mission. The app would help you find your perfect hench based on the villain who is using it, their power set, their location, and their confrontation history. The app even got an update releasing Hench 2.0, which improved on these features and added more customization options. There was also a program called Hench X, which allowed users to become a villain for hire. All brought to you by Power Broker Inc., under ownership of the new Power Broker, who made his first appearance in the comics in 2008. However, eventually the Power Broker ran out of money to fund this project, and so the Hench App and Hench X ended up being shelved. Number 1, current Power Broker. The current Power Broker's true identity is actually still a mystery in the comics. He first appeared in Avengers: The Initiative Annual Issue Number 1 and was the mastermind behind the Hench App and Hench X. He initially sought an investor for the app in Darren Cross. Demonstrating how worthy the app was of his investment, he attempted to use it to eliminate Ant-Man with the help of henchman Whirlwind. Cross, however, refused the offer to invest, and so the Power Broker canceled the demo. Later on, though, Darren Cross would attempt to steal Power Broker's new app software and idea, creating his own villain for hire version called Lackey, which caused the two to end up in a bit of a tech war. Power Broker ended up teaming up with Cassie Lang, who he renamed Stinger, to get revenge on Darren Cross and Cross Technological. This version of Power Broker also decided to give himself powers and has demonstrated some of them before in the comics. But his don't require him to be in an exoskeleton suit, so yes. What do you think is the most interesting thing about Power Broker? Do you think the Power Broker is Sharon in the MCU? I'm just saying, she looks pretty suspicious. Would you like to see more of the Power Broker in the comics or in the MCU? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Strongest Clones in Marvel Comics. I don't know why I did that. I'm not a clone, I promise. I have a belly button and everything. Backlash225 responded, haha, when Amanda said there was a ton of clones to date, I thought they can't all be single, then realized we weren't doing a shipping video. Yes, we were not doing a shipping video, although a Marvel clone dating sim is something I would totally play. Michael Lambert Bracewell comments, I just want to say that I love your hair, giving me much Jean Grey vibes right now. Well, thank you very much. I take that as a compliment, because Jean Grey is not only powerful, but she's also a hottie, and she's also like a super compassionate person. So thank you. Kroy Yuri no Ken writes, yo, that's a dope hoodie. I need that. First of all, thank you. Second of all, I'm sorry if I butchered your username. I tried really hard. I love that hoodie. That hoodie was given to me by my mother a few years ago for Christmas, and I love it so much. My sisters and I all got like different animal hoodies. It's so awesome. I think that was also the year that I got my pig hat, and then I lost it on the subway a few years ago, and now I'm still super sad about it. That's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels shouted out in a future list. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube.